to treat only not more than 70,000 cubic meter per day. Today, in the small buildings close to the ponds, we are treating more than 300,000 cubic meter a day, which means the land here is reduced to more than 1/10. One of the most important parameters in treatment processes is the retention time. Actually, the retention time keeps the process stable. You have to control the retention time, especially for the sludge. It's difficult to measure, but it's easy to calculate. You can calculate, as shown in the equation below, how to calculate the sludge retention time, which we have to make the sludge retention time as we can controllable to keep the process stable. What is the effect of retention time? You can see in this figure how the retention time affects the elimination of the solids. But at a certain time, it is not efficient to increase the retention time because you will achieve the most target of what you want from the retention time. So at certain point, you have to not increase the retention time because it's waste of energy actually to increase the retention time, and you cannot get more than elimination percentage of the solids. So, what is the sludge process? This is a simple diagram shows us how the sludge process goes. The major two structures that produce sludge is the settlers either in the primary or in the secondary, and then sent to digesters under certain conditions to produce methane, which goes to biogas generator for producing energy. But this is not our issue actually. Our issue is what after digested of sludge. What shall we do with this sludge? I think there shall be a techniques to deal with the sludge. Today, as I said before, AsSamra wastewater treatment plant is built under BOT basis. So, Water Authority of Jordan pays for the contractors a monthly treatment charge, which comprises from two main parts, either fixed to cover the capital cost of the construction of the plant, or variable to cover the O&M cost of the process. The capital cost covers the water line, the sludge line, and the gas line, which around 75% of the whole monthly treatment charge, which we base to the contractor, who take care about, or let us say it's our partner, not our contractor, because the BOT contract could be a partnership of contract. The balance of 25% actually covers the variable charge. The variable charge, it is a function of the volume and the concentration of solids, mainly BOD and TSS. We have an equation how to calculate that. We insert the concentration of the inlet flow in this equation to get the monthly treatment charge. The major issue today is the sludge management. Today we pay around 50% of the 25% of the total monthly treatment charge for sludge management. This is actually a little bit a huge margin on Water Authority shoulders. How can we recover? How we can get revenues to cover this sludge management cost? Is it efficient to get gold from sludge? Actually, we do this case in AsSamra Wastewater Treatment Plant, and we will answer this question by the end of this presentation, and I think you will get the answer by yourselves. This is simply how we treat sludge. It comes out from the wastewater treatment plant with many sludge treatment technology. But by the end, you have to find the final disposal solution. Up to date, the main technologies which as a final disposal or final use of the sludge, the major is landfills or composting or land application or energy recovery or cement industry. This is the case that we did in AsSamra Wastewater Treatment Plant. What happened? I just have 2 minutes. Okay. The landfill first, which is the main technology that we deal with. It is assembly technology and low cost. And we can get actually methane from this technology after certain years once the sludge reach to the certain conditions. And the maximum the dryness of the solid required is not more than 50%. The composting, actually it needs a high capital cost. And you have to follow the policies, the regulation, the standards. The land application, actually we have ongoing project on the land application, but there is 2 main issues of the land application. You have to follow policies, and there is a transportation issue. In the energy recovery, we have 2 technologies, either incinerator or gasification, but there is a main issue of this energy recovery. What is it? It is the dryness. You cannot use the sludge with minimum with 50% dryness. You have to achieve around 70% of dryness to get the much amount of methane and to be the process more sufficient and efficient. And the incinerator or gasification facilities shall be allocated close to the wastewater treatment plant. Another issue, you have to take care about the heat value of the sludge, which is actually a major concern on a sludge produced in AsSamra Wastewater Treatment Plant. So the energy recovery conclusion today it is a risky investment, and it needs a high capital cost, and it is not a zero environmental impact, and could be not a climate change friendly, and it is not a serious renewable energy recovery. In the cement factory industry, actually we did a good job. But what happened in the end? We stuck with a fatwa. I think my colleagues in Jordanian and Arab colleagues knows what I mean by fatwa. We have a trial with Al-Rajihi cement factory to use the sludge as a fuel, and by the end to use the ash as a component in the cement. But what happened with the fatwa? A fatwa is a statement said by a special person, which his religion is Islam. He said halal or haram. Let me elaborate in Arabic, and I think she can translate if the vocabulary help her. تحملنا شوية دكتور. حقيقة لما رحنا على مصنع الراجحي واستخدمنا الصلج في صناعة الأسمدة، صدرت فتوى كون الصلج مادة نجسة بحرمة استخدام الصلج في صناعة الأسمدة، خوفا من الإسمنت، خوفا من دخولها في بناء المساجد أو دور العبادة. وهذا الشيء اصطدمنا فيه حقيقة. وطلعت فتوى أخرى لما عرضنا البروسيس على اجى مفتي المملكة، زارنا في الوزارة واخذنا مندوبين من الافتاء وقلنا لهم انه الاستراكشر تبعيت السلج بتصير شيء اخر، اقتنعوا فطلعوا فتوى اخرى باجازه ذلك. لكن الببليك اوورنس عند الناس قد لا تستوعب هذا الشيء. وحتى مصنع الراجحي ارتد خطوه الى الوراء، بقول انا اخاف على منتجي كونه في كومبيتيشن عاليه بالاردن في صناعه الاسمنت، فارتد للوراء وتوقفت هذه التجربه. So what is our conclusion? Today we found in AsSamra Wastewater Treatment Plant that the landfill application is the most suitable process up to date. What I mean up to date, it is actually up to date because no one knows what happened in the future. Why the landfill is the best option up to date? Because it can be standalone option, needs maximum 50% of dissolved solid required. The heat value is not an issue as in the energy recovery application. It is low investment, no marketing effort required, and low risk, and could be a methane source. Thank you very much, and I'm sorry, Professor Hubertus.
Thank you. Thank you, Sufyan, for your presentation. بس الفتوى هو صناعة الأسمنت بتتعمل على البارد ولا إيه؟ هي صناعة الأسمنت بتتعمل على البارد؟ المحاضرة اللي بعد كده the third presentation for engineer Hubertus Schrage. He is BSc and MSc in civil engineer, and he is currently a project manager at B2M Berlin Middle East office in Bahrain, in Manama, over the last 10 years. And he has experience in sludge management, and he developed a sludge management strategy for Tobli Wastewater Treatment Plant in Manama. His presentation today is integrated sludge management and sludge to energy. So please go ahead.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I listened to my previous speaker, and while I think we come with the same facts and we have the same basis engineering-wise, I think we come to completely different conclusions, you will see. Okay. So it might be for an interesting discussion later on. Just a few words about us, P2M Berlin. We are the engineering, the consulting branch from the Berlin Wasser Group. We're owned by the state of Berlin, and our sister company is owners and operators of all of the water and wastewater facilities in Berlin. We're active in worldwide, but in the Aqua region quite a bit. And as mentioned myself, I am stationed in Bahrain for the last 9 years. Why sludge management? Why are we talking about sludge management today? Because as you know and as you've heard, sewage treatment plants and sewage treatment sanitation is increasing, and it has been increasing over the last 30, 40 years, and it's still quite a bit of work to be done. We heard in Egypt, we heard in Jordan. We know that a lot of people, especially in the villages, decentralized, still need to get sanitation. With that, we have rising quantities of sludge to be treated, sludge to be dealt with, what to do with this. It is not just a waste product. We have to find it as a resource, as a commodity, as a source for energy and nutrients. And we have to develop sustainable strategies to make sure that sludge treatment, sludge reuse will be sustainable for the future, and we can use this commodity that we have. In our opinion, there's two main keys to sludge management, and that is you start in every individual case, you start with the end product and what uses you can have of the end product. What are my options? What can I do with this? What do I want to do with this? What land availability do I have? What's my climate restrictions that I have? What existing industries can reuse my end product. Agriculture, landscaping, is that a viable source for me to dispose or reuse of my end product? And then I look at waste to energy concepts as well. We heard about biogas. We can look at mono-incineration or co-incineration. And then based on those two main factors, you can figure out what your treatment steps and processes are, as we've heard already. For us, sludge disposal in landfill simply is not a sustainable solution because the landfill is going to fill up its end. We can't use it forever, basically. Sludge drying and then use in agriculture or landscape is mostly a sustainable solution, although you have very much concerns about the quality. You need to make sure that the quality of the product is safe for the people to reuse it. Then you need to look at agricultural farming land availability. What crops are we using? How much space do you have? How much land is available at all? And nonetheless, the acceptance of the material to be reused as well. We'll get back to that. We are looking at mono-incineration and then disposal at a landfill. This can be a temporary solution, but again, disposal in landfill is not for us a sustainable solution where landfills will fill up and you need more space requirement. Mono-incineration is a sustainable solution because I can reuse the end product and I can reuse the energy and produce energy from sludge. Co-incineration, same thing. What we have seen in the GCC and what we have heard already from the Middle East, mostly drying to a certain degree and then disposal in landfills. In the Gulf countries, we've seen this almost exclusively. Then we see some reuse in agriculture, some more, some less. Quality concerns are there. I need to make sure health and safety are guaranteed. I don't have that much space. I'm in a very dry climate. How much agriculture do I have? How much farmland is available? But also cultural concerns. Is this material accepted? If I'm selling it as dried sludge, farmers will probably not like it. They don't want it. They have reservations about this is a human waste product. So will they take it? I have to take this in consideration when I do my sludge management planning. Marketing might be required. Has been very successful in the UK, for example, where they are marketing sludge as a organic fertilizer rather than sewage sludge, and it's widely accepted and is the most common use in the UK. This is a pretty busy slide. I don't want to go in detail on that. It's an overview of what is being done in Europe these days. The three main uses that we discussed. There's application in agriculture and farming is the blue columns. Incineration is the orange, and landfill is the gray. You can see in different countries in Europe, there's different methods and different applications that are being used. Where in the more eastern countries, you have mostly landfill and farming. Where in the more Western, old EU countries, you have increasing incineration. The maximum being in the Netherlands, where they have 100% sludge incineration. All of the sludge is being incinerated. As being from Germany, we want to talk about and bring you the history and what we are doing in Germany with the sludge and how our sludge management has changed over the years. Historically, we have used sludge in agriculture, and we still do. In the 60s and 70s, we have vastly increased the treatment capacities in Germany. But due to a lack of regulations for sludge disposal in those years, there was a lot of malpractice and unsafe reuse of sludge. And the first regulation on sludge disposal was then introduced in 1982. These regulations have changed ever since. I've listed a few here. And the German sludge ordinance, we're expecting a new amendment just this year, will further restrict agricultural reuse. Going through the disposal routes that we just heard about, landfills, we have the requirement in Germany these days to have the content of volatile organic solids below 5%, which basically makes landfill applications in Germany obsolete and no more, not possible. Agriculture, we have very strict sanitation, disinfection requirements. I listed a few here: heating, ATS, composting. You need time or energy to do so. This is from the sludge ordinance. More details, I don't want to go in that will go too far right now. Just to take from that, we need to make sure pathogens are completely removed and the reuse is safe. Incineration. We in Germany are moving heavily into incineration of sludge. Why? It's a result of our regulations increasing. We want to reduce the quantity of the product as much as possible. We want to reuse the product and the energy. And nonetheless, the big push in the future is going to be phosphorus recovery from the ash. And this is, in our opinion, the main focus down the road. When looking at incineration, we agree it's a very expensive solution. You also have to look at the exhaust gas treatment, and there is a regulation according to the Federal Emissions Control Act, quite strict. I think we have the strictest in the world with regards to exhaust gas treatment. Make sure that the dust is removed and all contaminants are removed. This slide shows you the columns from the green to the brown are the years from 1991 to 2011. It shows how we have changed sludge disposal and over the years. We had quite a bit of landfill application, almost 50% in 1991. We have none today. We have agricultural reuse, which is declining and will decline more because of the changing regulations. And you can see on the very right that the incineration has more than doubled over the last 20 years. And we have now almost 60% of all sludge from Germany is being incinerated. Energy recovery, we heard about it. What are my options? One option you heard is biogas production. Digestion plus biogas production is a viable source of energy. Then you have the option to have digestion plus incineration. Again, what is your end product? What do you need to have to dispose at the end of the day? You can recover energy in form of electricity and heat. We have mono-incineration. Again, you can recover heat and electricity. And then you have co-incineration with other wastes or in the cement industry, as we also heard already. What is my potential for recovery? We have to understand that during digestion, only about 50%, 40 to 50% of the organic matter is converted to biogas.